Hey guys, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, and we just got home today from Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Last weekend we were at Bikefest. Both of these rallies happened just a week apart right here in the Ozarks, and hopefully you've heard of both of them, but if not, I'm going to talk about both, the advantages to each one, maybe some areas each one can improve in. One of the biggest complaints I hear are they're too close together. I can't do both. People feel like they have to choose between one or the other because they're a week apart. And I understand money's an issue and you might not have the money to do both. But if you have the money to do both, them being a week apart makes for a great vacation, especially for people that are coming from out of town. Let's say you're gonna spend a day or 2 days traveling. You get to Bikefest on Friday, you get to spend Friday and Saturday there, then go spend a couple of days riding all over southern Missouri, northwest Arkansas, then spend a couple of days at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue at the end of that week, and then you get to head back home and you get to hit 2 rallies in one vacation. We actually used to do this, but because we're now going to more rallies like Sturgis and Daytona and the Steel Horse Rally, it's cut off back into our vacation schedule a little bit. We've had to work a few days in between, which isn't that big a deal for us because we're only 4 or 5 hours from Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue if we need to hustle down there. And we're only an hour and a half to Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest. I don't know if it would be better if they were further apart or not, or if they can build upon each other being close together. I'd be interested to see what you guys think about this. Do you think they definitely should be further apart? Or do you think having them together makes sense because people who are traveling from further away can hit 2 rallies in 1 week? Let's talk about vendors. The obvious winner here in my mind is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. They do have a bigger, better selection of vendors. But Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest has been getting bigger and better vendors the last few years. Tab Performance, Saddlemen Seats, Clockworks, Chromeworks. Some big names are coming there. Sometimes it's manned by Drag Specialties, sometimes it's manned by somebody from that company. I know at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, the people from Tab were actually there running their own booth. It wasn't Drag Specialties. I know the booth for Clockworks was being run by people from Clockworks. So if you're looking for vendors, you're looking for handlebars, things like that, both have options. I would say the options are a little better at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, but they're not as good as they were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, JP Cycles was there. The rally was bigger. To be honest, I think Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is getting smaller and Bikefest is getting bigger. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Let's talk about lodging. Rogers, I think, has plenty of motels, things like that. It's a bigger city. Lake of the Ozarks is more of a tourist destination. That lake is huge and there are resorts and campgrounds and condos and lake houses all over the place. A lot of them are vacation homes, so a lot of them are available to be rented on sites like VRBO or Airbnb. This year for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, we rented a house, actually 2, because our crew was so big we couldn't get them in one house in the Holiday Island area, which is just north of Eureka Springs. We were about 40 miles, 50 miles from Rogers there, and that was okay. We ran over there to go see what we wanted to see and stuff, but we kind of like being in the smaller area and being closer to Eureka Springs. We'll talk about why in a minute. But Eureka Springs has plenty of hotels. They were not at capacity a week or 2 before the rally this year. There were still a few rooms available. In the past, I've seen it impossible to get a room in Eureka Springs during Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Another sign that that rally is maybe shrinking a little bit. Bikefest, I think the rooms may get more expensive around the time of the rally, things like that. But I haven't heard of anybody not being able to get a motel somewhere in the area. This year, some friends of ours got one up at Eldon, which is like 15 minutes away. That worked out good because, well, this year, Bikefest had an AMA race on Saturday night at Eldon on the dirt track. We got to watch Jared Meems clinch his 10th Grand National Championship, which is a record for the AMA Flat Track Association. So lodging, I think, is pretty readily available at each. We like the idea of renting a house. That works out pretty well, getting the group together. This year, we went and bought groceries. We cooked at the house more. We drank at the house more. We may not have spent quite as much money with the businesses because of that, but it made it more affordable for us as the consumer going to these events. Hey guys, I've been wearing Beyond Rider's armored mesh shirt all summer. It's been great, but the temperatures are getting down into the 40s already as fall is approaching here in the Ozarks. So it's time to switch up my gear. Typically this time of year, I'd switch to my riding flannel from them. I did a video on this, the best armored riding flannel on the market for motorcycles and all the features why. You can check that video out if you really want to know. Also, there's a link in the description to save you a few bucks on Beyond Rider's armored gear. Now this year, I'm getting a fleece hoodie, and I'm gonna try that out this fall. It's already been shipped. It should be here any day. But these aren't the only products they make. If it's a really cold day, I can switch to the soft shell jacket I got from Beyond Riders. This is also water resistant, so if I think it's gonna rain a little bit, this is a great option as well if you don't wanna go full rain suit. Now, if you do a lot of night riding, you might want something like this highly reflective armored shirt from Beyond Riders as well. They make a lot of different gear. Check them out on their website. My wife particularly loves the fact that they have gear in purple and pink for women as well. Thanks Beyond Riders for sponsoring today's video and supporting the channel. The riding, and that's a big part of it. Northwest Arkansas, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue for years has been known as a riding rally. There's beautiful riding all over the country. And that is true, there is. I don't see as many people out riding though, which again leaves me to believe that attendance has been down. Bikefest has beautiful riding around it, but they don't seem to have promoted that as well as some of the other things that they have done to draw people into Bikefest. Now I do have friends that come and they have done routes. I had someone I met at Bikefest this year that watched my videos and they did one of the rides that I recommended and they said it was beautiful. And I think that's one of the things where Bikefest can improve on. We just need to promote the riding in that area also to get people that are interested in rallies where there's beautiful riding to come try it out as well. Now Bikefest, in my opinion, has more of a party atmosphere. To be honest, Bikefest 2024 felt like Sturgis 2002. And what I mean is they had an open container permit for the strip area at Bagnell Dam at the Lake of the Ozarks where there's several bars and restaurants up and down the street. And you had your alcohol in a plastic cup. You could walk up and down the street looking at bikes, going from one beer garden to another. You couldn't go into an establishment with an alcoholic beverage from a different one, but you could walk up and down the street and look at bikes after you bought a drink. Once you finish it, go into another one, get a drink, walk around some more. It was a very cool atmosphere, very much reminded me of the first time I went to Sturgis in 2002. Chicks were doing the body painting and walking up and down the street with body paint on from the waist up only. I saw people at bars like that. Nobody was giving them a hard time. Nobody was telling them they couldn't do it. I think the lake is very much more of a party atmosphere and it is more acceptable there than say Rogers. I think Rogers has still got a ways to go to come up with something that's going to replace Dixon Street. Now Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue has Rolling USA, has Harley-Davidson behind them. They give away a bike there just like they do at Laconia, Sturgis, Daytona. I think that could be promoted better. I didn't even know when it was this year. I didn't see enough advertising on that. I think that's something that could be even bigger as a draw if more people knew that there was a chance to win a bike there. I think part of the way that is done though, the finalists know before they get there. So you have to participate at a Harley dealer months ahead of time. And then if you're a finalist, you have to be present. So I don't think it encourages people to go there to win a bike. And this is where Bikefest is winning because they have a passport run. I just did a video on it and you can buy a passport for $25, run around and get it stamped at places and you can win a motorcycle. And this year they gave away a 2023 Lowrider ST in black. Now, that is something I'm more interested in. I can go to this rally and have a chance to win it. The Rolling USA, you have to do all the participation stuff ahead of time. And then, if you don't get selected as a finalist, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to encourage you to go to the rally. So I think that is something that needs to be considered and changed how that works. I don't know. It feels to me like that could be done in a different way that encourages people to go to these events. And that's what I think they should try and figure out a way to do that. Not just encourage them to go to the dealership and scan a barcode with an app and put in keywords and register, but actually, go and not know till you get there if you have a chance of winning or not. Maybe the deadline should be, the day before the rally, and maybe there should be something like you have to go scan a barcode when you get there at the dealership to complete your registration. That would encourage people to go to these events, whether it's Daytona, Sturgis, Laconia, Rolling Arkansas, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, whatever it is. So I think that's an advantage Bikefest has. It encourages people to go, and it gives them some reason to stay and be there and do this. Rolling Arkansas, the bike giveaway this year, I turned it out, was on Friday night. So, if you weren't a finalist and the bike giveaway was on Friday night, there was really no reason, for you to go care about any of that otherwise. Having a participation thing that day and maybe the finalists being announced, on Saturday morning and then a giveaway on Saturday night, or maybe you don't announce finalists. You just have to be present to win, and you get 500 people to show up and you give away a bike and you have a concert or something. I think that would be cooler. And maybe you don't have to be present to win, but you have to have checked in at the event. You have to scan a barcode at the dealership during the rally to be a finalist, to be checked in. I don't know, but there's got to be a better way to do this that encourages people to participate in the rallies themselves. I definitely think both rallies are great rallies to attend. I think the difference is Bikefest right now is offering more of a party type atmosphere. I think they're offering some other things like the flat track race and the bike giveaway that encourage people to come to the event more so than what's being done at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Now, I've talked to people that are involved in both events and stuff. I don't have a lot to recommend to Bikefest this year. I think they killed it. I think they did a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. Do more of it. Woody from the Buffalo Chip has gotten involved, and he's doing a bike show. The Encore is doing a cycle showcase there, and the Globe of Death, and the Carnival Ink tattoo contest was going on during it. I think, these businesses are bringing things in for people to have stuff to do, and that is working out great at Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, I think they could do a better job on advertising. I think the Rolling USA bike giveaway thing could be done better, where it encourages people to attend these events. I'd like to see more of a party atmosphere, whether it's Rogers or Fayetteville, Dixon Street again, or whatever it is. I mean, even if Fayetteville doesn't want Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue there, doesn't mean maybe the bar owners on Dixon Street shouldn't get together and put out beer gardens and get an open container permit if that's what's needed for people to walk up and down the street or something, and have their own party atmosphere there. I hope to see you at Bikefest or Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue next year. Those are two rallies we always go to. They're close to home. They're very special to us. All right, y'all stay safe, keep on riding, and we'll see you in the next one.